Hello, hello, hello!
Oh, don't you dare be sour! I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that. I don't want the New Day to beat me up.
Clap for the copyright infringement and feel the lawsuit.
As we are fired from everything. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Wherever you are in the world, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're at. Welcome to a special episode of the Intercode Podcast. It's a very special episode today because we're talking about just that little indie studio that could. Little Sony.
Little Sony.
Little Sony.
Really? That's what you're... Wow. This is my co-host. This is great. Yeah.
I'm only going to make a couple more bad jokes at the expense of Sony, but not too many. Because this whole episode is dedicated to the PlayStation 5 reveal. Woo! That was a lot to process.
That was a lot to process.
In case you didn't know, this afternoon, about 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Sony, I would say, blessed us?
I would say yes.
Graced us?
Some excitement in our lives right now.
It's been a long time coming. We've been looking forward to any and all information we could get from Sony about the PlayStation 5. And we haven't had a lot. We had some technical specs earlier in the year. If you stayed awake through that presentation, you would have found out a whole lot about the technical aspects of it.
I watched the whole thing. It was great. I was educated.
I do like hearing tech people like be excited about new tech and the things that they can do with it. So that it is cool. Like if you go into it without a lot of preparation, then you might think, oh, this is kind of boring. But like seeing and hearing the excitement from the developers was pretty cool about what the PlayStation 5 will be able to do. So then we finally saw a whole bunch of games and the reveal of the white console.
Yeah, interesting color choice.
White, blue, and black. I dig it. I personally dig it.
Like I was telling you, I still think the white PS4 was probably one of the cleanest consoles they had. Oh, I miss that thing.
I know, right? I wish I would have jumped on that, but that's besides the point. We're going to talk about what we saw, what we liked, what we didn't like, and maybe a few predictions, because I assumed that we would get a good chunk of information, but not everything with this broadcast. And we still need to hear future down the road. We'll hear it, but that little thing called the price tag.
I'm still nervous. My gut is still telling me like the $400 to $500.
Oh, I know. We'll get to it. We'll talk about it. Okay, are we ready to discuss how that show went? Because I'm ready to talk about some of those beautiful games.
Can I start? Can I go? Can I go?
Do it. What was your best moment?
Best moment? Only get one?
Okay, fine. As many best moments as you want.
Okay.
What were some of the things that you liked about the show this afternoon?
Well, starting off for me, the Spider-Man Miles Morales. Like, Miles is like hands down one of my favorite superheroes, comics. I'm not the huge Spider-Man fan, but I just like how diverse he is, and he's not like your normal. I am a little nervous that it could just be DLC, but like you were saying, we did have the Lost Legacy for Uncharted, which was more than just like a little snippet, which if they do that with the Miles, I'm okay with that. I'm still going to play it regardless.
Yeah. That's what it looked. It looked like it was on the same engine that they did Spider-Man on. So, and granted, the broadcast was in 1080, 30 frames per second. They already announced it ahead of time, so we were kind of prepared for that.
Yeah.
So it didn't really shock and awe like you would expect from a typical 4K presentation, for example. And again, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
That was okay. It still looked great. I still think 1080 looks great, but that's just me. What do I know? On Twitter, I made a note where I mentioned on my Twitter page that it just didn't feel like it was going to be a whole new game. Even though time-wise, potentially it could be.
There's possibility.
There might be enough of a time frame. But I had a buddy of mine, the Dane 1105, tweet at me where he said probably something like Uncharted Lost Legacy. And then we'll probably get Spider-Man 2 in a couple years. So I thought that made a whole lot of sense. Because it didn't feel like it was, new. It just, obviously Miles is going to be a huge part of it. You'll see he has, if you're not familiar with Miles in the comics, he does have a few different powers than than Peter Parker does. You see a little bit of the camouflage in the middle, like, of the trailer. Teaser. It's a teaser trailer. But you see the camouflage, and you also see his little electric shock ability that he does. So you see some... I didn't recognize the enemies that he was fighting, so it could be original characters for this. Yeah.
It was so quick, though. It was hard to pick up on every, like, Easter egg that could have been
Right. And the voiceover... Was that Peter? In the voiceover, it kind of sounded like him, but not really. So maybe it's another character.
I gotta go back and watch it again.
Yeah, I know. If you haven't seen it, you do need to watch it. Hands down, that was probably the most exciting part and exciting announcement. Yeah. So, I definitely agree. If it does end up being an expansion, then, and if it is Lost Legacy, I mean, we're gonna get we're gonna get some hours with Miles. Yeah. And it's better than what I thought it could be, which was, here's DLC with the costume. No one wants to see that. We want a full Miles adventure.
Right.
So I think that's going to be really, really cool. And best of all, holiday 2020.
Yes.
So anticipating it could potentially be a launch title with PlayStation 5. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Don't mess with us, COVID.
Right.
Don't do this to us.
Has ruined so much.
It really has. That was, definitely a highlight for me as well. What was another highlight for you?
Another one for me. Well, one that kind of caught me off guard was The Village.
Yes.
I had no idea. And sorry, spoiler alert. I didn't realize it was going to be Resident Evil. Like, that was a complete curveball. I'm just like, this is really freaky, but I don't want to turn away. Okay. And then at the end, Resident Evil. And you're just like, what the fudge? Okay.
I want to know what they're going to do with 9. Like, what word can we fit the numerals? Because they did it for 7 and with 8. They fit the Roman numerals in the title, so it's like a Resident Evil 8. But it was leaked a little while ago that what it could potentially be.
Okay.
About, like, they kind of mentioned the setting. They mentioned werewolves. And I think it sounded a little too silly for me, so I was like, whatever. It's,
it's Resident Evil. There's going to be some silliness in there.
There has to be. Oh, yeah. But the trailer looked incredible. So that was definitely a highlight and a big surprise, too. And that comes out January 2021. So not exactly... I almost wanted to call it a launch title. Just that it's so close to when... It's close enough.
Kind of that same time frame.
That's right. Launch time frame.
Right.
Launch area.
We'll work with
it. We'll take anything we can get.
A couple other ones for me, too. Godfall looks amazing. Just watching the combat and the weapons, the armor. I was like, I just want to go beat things up with that. Like, let's go.
That's right.
And Ghostwire. Another curveball. I did not expect that was going to be first person.
Yes, that's right.
When we saw it at E3, it looked like it was going to be like a third person type adventure. And of course, we're watching it, and Ryan's doing like the Naruto like hand signs and stuff because that's kind of what you're seeing in the trailer.
I did it super well and very accurately.
He's
by the
pro.
Way, such a pro. Just a couple notes about those two games, if you don't know. Godfall is from Gearbox Studios. And just a little blurb on, and honestly, I would recommend you go to PlayStation Blog. They have a recap of the show if you didn't watch it, and some, just some good information that in case you don't know. But Godfall it says you are the last of the Valerian Knights, godlike warriors able to equip Valor Plates, legendary armor sets that transform welders into unstoppable masters of melee combat. So players will tear through foes as they climb through some of the elemental realms. And they're still working on it. I think they said 2021. Was that the date? I don't... No. They said holiday.
Holiday.
They did say holiday.
There's a lot of holidays coming up.
That's right. No, I mean, not enough holidays. I'll get to that as my negatives in a little bit. Don't you worry about
coming.
it. So, yeah, very cool melee combat that they showed in the trailer. And Ghostwire does look... It's just like a creepy cool. So the first player, yes, or first person's visuals, it looks a little different than I was expecting, but I think it looks cool. I think there could be a lot of potential to it, and it's just it's gonna rock. So excited for that. That one's coming in 2021 for sure. Well, nothing's for sure, but
nothing's set in stone.
They say 2021. That's right. So Ghostwire being as part of Bethesda, like Softworks. What did you think of Deathloop?
Ooh, Deathloop.
Yes,
that was still one of my favorite ones that we got to see at it was the Bethesda event, right?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, and that one's cool just because you get to play as either of the assassins, right?
Yes,
and you're trying to kill each other, and
that's right. You have a protagonist, but then you can switch over, I believe, to the antagonist. That's kind of what they were showing a little bit of in the trailer. Interesting concept, super interesting, and Arcane Studios does a phenomenal job. So I think it's going to be very, very cool and a lot of fun.
One thing I'm curious, because like this was more like an in-depth trailer than what we had seen, and he was like, "Yeah, there's like 12 people on it, and they all have to be taken out by midnight." I'm wondering if, because it's a death loop, so you die, then you have to restart. So I wonder if that adds more time to your timetable, or if it detracts from it. So like you died, okay, then you have 5 more hours to go to kill all these people.
Right, or if you start over like completely, and you have to go through everything again.
That would suck.
Potentially, it could. I mean,
unless you adapt. But would they adapt from how you play too?
Right. And would you quickly find other pathways to get you to your targets, make it a little easier? I think the speedruns of this are going to be super neat.
Ooh.
To see how they switch from the protagonist to the antagonist, and they kind of go back and forth that way.
I just got goosebumps thinking about that.
The interesting note that was released a little bit later after the broadcast is Deathloop and Ghostwire are going to be timed PlayStation exclusive. So Xbox fans will get it eventually.
Yeah, you wait your turn.
We'll wait our turn. We'll let the PlayStation players work out all the bugs, and then we'll get the finished beautiful game.
Ain't gonna be no bugs. It's gonna be awesome. Hey, you quit your hating.
Anyway.
Wow.
What else did you like? What else stood out to you from the broadcast?
What was the other stuff? Sorry, it's like trying to process everything.
Yes, that's true. I got a couple if you want to think about it for a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there were quite a few indie titles mixed in there, which I personally enjoyed. I love the AAA blockbuster, but I do love a good indie game. So there were a lot of really interesting ones. One that stood out to me was from Co-op, and it's called Goodbye Volcano High. And it just looks kind of just a very angsty teen drama.
Yeah, you like that angst.
It could be cool. I'm an angsty person in real life. Believe you me.
Don't get me started on that.
And it looked like, I don't know if they were dinosaurs or just kind of, supernatural creatures in a way.
Kinda,
yeah. But they're cool though, and the animation looked beautiful. So excited for that one. I had a good laugh at Bug Snacks.
That one's so weird.
I
want to play it.
Oh, of course, right? If you have ever played a game called Octodad, it's really all in the title. He was an octopus.
Just let your imagination run wild with that.
So the studio that did that is making Bug Snacks, and the trailer looked like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, but when you eat the animals, like in the food animals, you turn into the food animals. So I don't know how that's all going to work out, but it looked funny.
Piqued my interest.
It piqued my interest too, yes. Another one that looked super interesting was the Kena Bridge of Spirits. And that one, you mentioned like Pikmin.
Pikmin.
There you go.
He can't talk. It's
I
okay.
can't. Don't worry about it. The Pikmin, I played a little bit of, but basically you had little minions that you were controlling to do different tasks. And so in the trailer for Kena, it looked like he also had some minions, and there was some interesting combat in there, and it looked cool. It looked super, super cool. But there was really like a lot of interesting little indie ones. Little Devil Inside looks super cool. Just the kind of the switch from like the Monster Hunter to the old man who's like just sitting at home, not doing much. I mean, you see him pooping. That was cool.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out, like, are you inside this old man, or is this like something separate?
Right.
So many questions unanswered.
Yeah, exactly.
I need more.
Exactly. Besides that one, a new Oddworld. I never got into the Oddworld series, but this new one looks cool. So it's Oddworld Soulstorm. Do you like cats?
No, not really.
But what did you think of Stray?
Just another cat to me.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm an anti-cat person.
Wow, okay.
Sorry,
Okay.
allergies, man. They like break me out.
So you just listen to my smooth, calming voice. There's a video game that they announced called Stray, and it has just a little adorable little kitty, and he's walking around, or she's walking around in a world of robots.
We're gender neutral.
And it would look cute, little kitty, and he had a backpack on.
So you're just playing a stray cat and then running around with a bunch of robot people?
I sure hope so. I hope it's like Untitled Goose Game, and you just mess with the robots.
I was just going to say it's a cat simulator.
Yes, it is. I really do. We'll see. It looked cool. It just looked interesting. Cyberpunk, futuristic.
Yes.
But with a cat. I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
I'll probably end up playing it. I always play those weird games.
That's right. Yeah. Any other positives that you liked before we talk about things that didn't really hit well with us?
No, but let's bring up the negative real quick.
Okay. Now, you're don't laugh.
Oh, jeez.
No. Don't laugh.
Okay.
I don't have a lot of negatives. I know.
Is this the end of the world?
It was. Yeah, this is it, guys. This is a sign. It was for the most part, a very well done presentation, and the games that they did show look super cool. A couple hiccups for me. One major one was starting off with Grand Theft Auto. So I get it. They have had a partnership with PlayStation for a number of years. So you want to show off that Grand Theft Auto 5 will be coming to the PlayStation 5 at some point. Online is going to be showing up first on PlayStation 5.
It's going to be free with the PS5.
Correct. Yes, it's going to be free with the PlayStation 5, and then eventually they say it's like expanded story mode. So I'm not sure what that means exactly, but we're not going to get that till next year. Like I would say summer, like mid-year. So it was definitely a shock seeing it, and you see the logo, right? And I mean, I admit I got myself super hyped when I saw the logo, thinking, "Oh my word, is it time? Are they going to announce a new one?" And then they're bringing over Grand Theft Auto 5. So for those who are counting at home, that makes Grand Theft Auto 5 appear on 3 different generations of consoles.
I just don't get it.
Ranking in the money.
I mean, to those that love the game, more power to you.
Yes.
That is one of those that I promised the wife I will never bring into the house, and I will stay true to that.
Look at you.
It doesn't appeal to me.
Look at you. I enjoyed online for a little bit, and then I fell behind, and everyone had so much money and all these guns and stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna worry about that anymore. So they made a little announcement, and I'm trying to find it real quick, but they announced something about players getting money.
Wasn't it? Oh yeah, it was like
in the game.
$1 million.
It's like $1 million a month.
Shark cash a month, I think.
Something like that. Plus, let me see this real quick. 3. Oh, okay. A few more details. This is from Wario64, by the way. If you don't follow him on Twitter and you like video games, and you need to follow him immediately.
He's a good person to follow.
Yes. Oh, so much information.
So many deals on games, and
That's right.
bless your heart.
So the new standalone version of Grand Theft Auto Online will be available free for 3 months exclusively on PlayStation 5. So another timed exclusive, and I don't know if you get to keep the game after the 3 months, or how that works, or maybe at least you keep your progress and then you
Probably
buy the full game,
and then it transfers over.
Yeah, something like that. So we'll see. It's just, again, I'm not a huge Grand Theft Auto player, and I if you play on PlayStation 4, you get this like $1 million every month, and who knows, maybe that will be a really good thing for those players. I mean, for me, it was just kind of like you're starting with this, and then of course, they killed it with Miles Morales, and then the show got better and better. But
yes,
yeah, Grand Theft Auto was a bit interesting. Another hiccup for me that I don't, how do I put this nicely? I don't blame Sony for this at all. I really, really don't. Times are difficult for developers. Plans that they may or may not have had has now been upended with everyone working from home, and that could potentially cause significant delays to games. I have to admit that it was still a little underwhelming with the few amount of games that were coming out holiday 2020. So it is Sony. It's going to sell. The PlayStation 5 is going to sell so many copies, or so many consoles. So it doesn't really matter, I don't think. But looking at my list, there was only a couple games that were coming out in 2020. Miles Morales expansion. I'm just going to call it the expansion.
Till we know otherwise.
Exactly. The Miles Morales expansion was one of the few that are coming out in 2020. They also mentioned that really interesting indie game called Jet, The Far Shore. That looked like, it was almost like a side-scrolling, you see that little ship that was, traveling through the different planets?
Right.
Looked interesting. So that was another one. Godfall is another one. You're looking at Bugsnax is another one for 2020. And then, I guess if you want to count GTA Online, if you want to count that. So there's quite a few games that are not going to be out in time for the launch. So that part was a little disappointing. And I get it. With Sony, you have to play the long game. I mean, how long did we wait for episode 1 of the Final Fantasy VII remake?
Worth the wait.
It was worth the wait, though.
I don't care.
We waited years, but it was worth the wait.
I'd buy it again.
Right. I mean, all these games, when did they first announce Spider-Man? Was it 3 years before it came out?
Oh,
I mean,
easily.
You wait and you wait and you wait, but it's worth the wait.
Yes.
So there were a couple really interesting games. Project Athia, for example, looked super interesting. Pragmata looked super interesting. Pragmata was that one like weird space one, I think, from like the creator of Dead Space.
It looked a
or
lot
one
like
of the writers.
Dead Space. At least the character design and everything.
Exactly. So that one looked super cool, and then I, let myself get excited, and I'm like, oh well, this isn't gonna come out soon. The new Ratchet and Clank looks super cool, and that probably won't come out until 2021 or later. And the big end of the show was Horizon 2 Horizon Forbidden West is what they're calling it, but Horizon 2. That one again looks super awesome, but we might have to wait a while for it.
It's okay, it'll give you time to play the first one.
That is true. It is $10 right now, and it's been $10 quite a lot. It kind of fluctuates between $10 and $20. So yeah, I know, no excuse. I gotta get my PlayStation back though.
One day.
I'll get it in time for Ghosts in July.
Yes.
So it's a downside of having this awesome presentation is the fact that you have to wait for some of the games. So that was really my only, I have one more negative, but I wanted to let you chime in.
I didn't have a lot of negative on it.
Fanboy.
Wow.
Okay, that was bad joke number 2. I might have one more.
Why do I put myself through this pain?
I might have one more.
Oh, jeez.
Look, I had to get that one out of the way. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
For me, it took forever to get started, it felt like, with that long intro in the beginning.
True.
And the people over at IGN, they were kind of talking and forgot, oh, hey, it's starting. And they're like, okay, bye.
Yes.
It's like, oh, hey, we're watching. And of course, I'm trying to listen to it while I'm at work. So I'm like, no customers, right? Sweet. Taking a lunch. Oh, wait, customer. So I missed. And I had to rewatch it. But,
yeah. It didn't have it didn't have like the traditional countdown like the state of plays usually do. So you heard like the music change up and it's like, oh, it's getting exciting, but not the usual countdown. So yeah, that was hard to gauge a little bit.
But aside from that, my only complaint was just starting with GTA. Like, I get it. Like, you know, you're bringing people in with something like cool. I mean, that's really cool that you're giving it to them for free to start out with, and you're, you know, continuing to be loyal for that partnership for those that are still playing, giving them the money each month.
Right.
I thought it was cool that they led in next with the Miles Morales, you know, especially kind of what's going on right now with Black Lives Matter. And, you know, he is a biracial superhero. He's half black, half Hispanic. Yep. So that was a strong message, I think.
No, yeah. And
especially with, you know, coming out this year too, something for us to look forward to. It's the little things right now.
Yes, yeah, we'll take it. The only other downside that I'll mention, and we talked about this a little bit before we started recording, but we'll mention it again. And again, not their fault. I'm not. They're playing the long run, the long game right now. But no price.
Ugh. Just tell me so I can be ready.
Right.
Just pull the Band-Aid.
I swear, everyone ever since Xbox laid that fat egg. I was in the room. Did I ever tell you that? So E3, when they announced the specs for Xbox One or Xbox One X, all the specs, there was some good hype in the room. Everyone was excited, showing off some good games, and then the minute they told the price, it just sucked the air out of the room when they mentioned $500, and it's just like, oh. But at the same time, I'm glad they mentioned it. Yeah. Because at least it gives you a heads up. You know what to expect. Yes, you know what to plan for. So I think about that moment. I also think about when the Xbox One came out again. That was a previous, you know, a different regime. It wasn't Uncle Phil. You know, Uncle Phil is I think doing a remarkable job with what he can do with Xbox.
We appreciate you.
We are so much. As an Xbox fan, I appreciate him so much. Just he's trying, and he knows this generation is lost, but he's trying and doing a lot of great stuff. But anyway, besides the point. So those instances where they announce the price, it could really make or break a launch. So when they announced the Xbox One price, Sony, back in the good old days when they still had E3 conferences, they had their PlayStation 4 lineup, right, in their announcements, and then they announced the price was lower, and I mean, automatic A+, you win E3. So I can see why they're holding off and not telling us prices. It's just we're getting
play the game.
We're getting real close to holidays. I mean, time is flying by. It's already almost mid-June.
Oh my gosh.
Which is crazy.
Well, hey, this year's almost over.
Oh, thank goodness. I'm looking forward to 2021. So it's crazy how time is flying, and at some point they're going to have to give us the price. Now, I wonder how things will change now that they also announced an all-digital PlayStation 5.
I'm intrigued to see how that price difference is going to be.
Me too. I was not expecting it. I don't think anyone was expecting it. There were some great jokes online, by the way, about PlayStation beating Xbox to the punch with, you know, Project Lockhart. That's Xbox's rumored all digital version of the Xbox Series X. So it's like, of course, PlayStation beat them to that. But take that. So that really, I think, throws a bit of a wrench in when, you know, pricing. And there's a lot of rumors floating about how much price the parts are, and they're trying to figure out what they can do with the price. So we'll have to wait and see, unfortunately, but I was hoping, $5 says they're just waiting for Xbox to announce it, and then they'll announce their price.
You don't want to be the first one.
No, it worked before. It's worked quite a bit, so I'm sure they're going to be doing it again. But yeah, that was really the last really big bummer that I didn't like. What do you think of the console design?
I actually really like the design. It's sleek. It's not super bulky. I figure it'll stay on your bookshelf or entertainment center and not be in the way. Mm-hmm. I hope that blue light kind of stays on and just kind of, adds that little element into your room when you're gaming. And my only concern is the battery life on that controller, which is always a pain.
Yes.
I think I always play with my controller plugged in just because it's going to die.
Yep. The controller looks a little different. Looks a little bigger in a way.
Yeah. Which
I like. I honestly don't like the DualShock. I don't like that controller.
My hands are still too big for that, but I make it work.
Yes, exactly. So I hope the controller comes out soon, that we can maybe, go to a GameStop and sanitize, of course, but put our hands on it.
Social distancing, trying out the controller.
Yes, and then they wipe it down, and then the next person can put their hands on it. Then we touch it again. Yes.
Wait, what? Oh, we have to share? No.
Hey, nope. They can. Sony just send us a free one.
Yeah.
We'll unbox it. Don't worry. I hope the controller fits comfortably. The design is it's sleek. It's different. I like it. I dig it. I think the blue illumination could be really cool. I wonder if you could change the color like you can with the DualShock. Changing the color on that with, whatever you decide. I think that would be really cool to have with the white and the black, have like a red or an orange or purple or something like that.
I like that possibility.
Yeah, I hope so. What do you think? This will be, we'll wrap up our thoughts with this. What do you think, now that we know there are 2 SKUs, gosh, now that we know there are 2 SKUs, what do you think the price is going to be of the PlayStation 5?
I think for the physical disc drive, I'm gonna shoot and say still say $4 to $5. On the all digital, I think it'd be more cost friendly, so maybe $300.
Okay.
Just kind of thinking of how they did with Xbox, what they did their all digital, it was more cost friendly because, and the storage space.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna be pessimistic.
Oh man.
Like I usually am. I think the PlayStation 5 with the Blu-ray player, with the disc drive, I think it's gonna be $600.
Ugh.
I know.
Ugh.
I think
I hope you're wrong.
I hope so too. I would love to be wrong. Please prove me wrong, Sony. I think the all digital is gonna be like $450 or $500. So, I don't know. There's little components that I worry about. The audio, how much is that going to cost Sony to put into the PlayStation 5? The specialized SSD drive.
Oh, true.
How much is that going to cost them? They have Blu-ray players that can range between $150 to $500.
I know, I sell them.
Right. So, what kind of Blu-ray player are they going to put into the PlayStation? So, there's a lot of different aspects, I think, that, they're going to have to figure out. And I'm sure they're also figuring out how many units they're going to have available by holiday and things like that. So we'll wait and see, but I think it's going to be a cha-ching, very, very expansive.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Let's hope that for our sake, there are a lot of good salesmen like you that will explain to Grandma that, oh, this one you cannot put a disc in. You can only put a disc in this one. And we'll see how it goes.
Easier said than done. You know how hard it is to explain the difference on that?
Oh, I can imagine.
Pray for me this holiday.
You got this, buddy. Don't worry. Do you think RC Willie's going to even get them?
I think so.
Wow.
It'd be crazy not to.
That's true. Well, guys, I think that about wraps up our thoughts about the reveal. Overall, though, final thoughts, happy. We are happy. Great presentation. Just a few little hiccups, and some of those again, I don't fault Sony at all for it. There's not much you can do. I think there's still some things that are just in the air.
Blame it on the Rona, 'cause it sucks so bad.
We're not lip syncing that either. That was real. That was real from the heart. So yeah, blame it on the Rona. You know, if maybe if in a perfect world where we didn't have to worry about that, maybe they would be able to figure out production and finalize some prices, and would have been able to have one final thing. The PlayStation 5 is so and so dollars. So anyway, we'll see. Holidays, it's supposed to be available in the holiday season. A lot of rumors swirling around when, but at this rate, we're getting it. That's all that matters.
Say your little prayers to, baby Jesus, that everything comes like it's supposed to.
That's right. Well, we appreciate you watching. One day we'll have visuals and stuff. But we appreciate you listening to tonight's special podcast.
Yeah.
Special episode, all for the PlayStation 5. We would love to hear your thoughts on what you think of the reveal. Leave us a voicemail on our Anchor page. It's anchor.fm. Just search for Enter Code Pod or Enter Code Podcast. If you want to leave us a comment on Facebook or on Twitter, it's at Enter Code Pod. Please let us know what you thought of the reveal. I mean, even if, you didn't like it, which surprised me. There was some negative comments.
You can't please everybody.
Well, I mean, you expect it from the Xbox fans, but even some of the Xbox fans were like, it was fine. It was cool.
Yeah.
It's just console wars are stupid.
It's never going to end.
It's never going to end, but it's stupid. Waste of everybody's time. Just let everyone play whatever they want to play and let them enjoy it. That little comic. I still love that little meme comic where someone's complaining, and then I think it's the angel comes down and closes the lips and says, "Shh, let people enjoy things."
Yes,
that's what we want. So that's why I can't tease John too much about the Sony reveal, because honestly, it was still very, very cool. Good experience. Yeah. So again, please leave us a comment. Let us know what you think, and we'll talk about it when we record our regularly scheduled episode. Our next episode, and we'd love to include your thoughts and your opinions and any of your questions that you have about the PlayStation 5. Okay, John, anything else?
Just appreciate you guys listening. Hope you're enjoying this journey with us, and keep supporting us, and appreciate all your comments and feedback on social media. And as always, I'm Triple J, John Jefferson Jr.
Woo! I'm Ryan Welch. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Later, skaters.
Peace.